Last Kentucky Derby prep of the season. Let's go. Hey everyone, welcome back. We got one more Kentucky Derby prep before we get to talk about the big one. It's the Lexington mile and a 16th at Keeneland this Saturday. It is a 20-point Derby prep, but in this year, these 20 points could make a difference depending on who ends up winning. So let's get into that. We're going to get into that first before we go over the field. Currently, the last two spots of the top 20 are owned by number 19 is Charge It, who has 40 points for his runner-up finish in the Florida Derby and has 188,000 non-restricted stakes earnings, which is the tiebreaker. And number 20 is Tawny Port, who is your morning line 5-2 favorite in the Lexington, who has 122,000. Now, this is a $400,000 purse. So basically, he would pass Charge It if as long as he runs, I believe it's third. But if for other horses that are involved in the point standings here that this could make a difference for, number 26 Ethereal Road has $200,000 in non-restricted stakes earnings and has 20 points, and In Due Time has 20 points with 76,800 in non-restricted graded stakes earnings. Now, if I believe the scenario is this, and if I am wrong, someone please correct me in the comments. As long as Tawny Port comes in the top 4, he is in the top 20. Nobody's going to be able to pass. Nobody can pass him for that. He would, based on points, he would finish with more than 40 points. I think the minimum he can finish with is 42 points if he came in fourth. So he would automatically be in the field of 20, which is crazy. He was actually the last pick of my fantasy draft when he just had his maiden win at Turfway. So kind of crazy that this horse could make it in the Kentucky Derby. But the real bubble thing that I wanted to go over is that there is a chance that Charge It falls out of the top 20 here if either Ethereal Road or In Due Time win and Tawny Port finishes second through fourth. Charge It would get bumped to number 21 and be on the outside looking in, which is kind of significant because Charge It is a very much of a wise guy horse in the Kentucky Derby. A lot of people very high on him. So we'll have to see where he is after this weekend. Obviously, horses do drop out within these next couple of weeks. So he'll probably sneak his way in anyway, but would be interesting that 40 points this year isn't going to cut it. So with that said, we are going to go over this 11 horse field, and we are going to start with the number 1, Midnight Chrome. And I'm going to be honest, I don't see it. He's 20-1. He gets Jose Ortiz, okay. Hasn't won since he broke his maiden last August at Monmouth. He ran in the third in the Remsen behind two very good horses in Mo Donegal and Zandon. But his last race was okay. An allowance effort at Gulfstream. Finished third. It's not going to be good enough here. He's going to have to drastically improve. He lost to the horse that came in second there. Manic at one point was considered to be on the Derby trail and just wasn't. He was considered not good enough, so they never actually threw him in. So I'm gonna pass on this one. He's 20-1 morning line though. You'll probably get every bit of that 20-1 on him if you do like him. The number 2 is In Due Time, and this horse is actually going to end up being my top pick in here. A couple very impressive efforts at Gulfstream Park. He won that optional claiming effort was huge. He got bet down pretty good in the Fountain of Youth, where he finished second, and Paco Lopez caused that whole nonsense at the top of the stretch. But even besides that, this horse technically clipped heels and then still gained ground late. He was never catching simplification, but he ran huge. I'm actually surprised this horse is second choice in the morning line, if I'm being honest. I would not be surprised if by post time this horse is the favorite. They purposely skipped the last round of major preps. They were originally pointing this horse to the bluegrass, and they decided to skip it, realizing they did not need the bluegrass to get into the Derby. They could just win the Lexington and get in. So it could be a smart move. I just think that effort in Florida was just a much better than anything these other horses have run against. Same logic I applied last weekend when I singled Mo Donegal as my top pick in the wood. So I'm going to go with In Due Time here on top. He's going to be my single. I'm not going to use anybody else on multi-race tickets. I'm just going to use In Due Time. We'll see how that works, but I just think he's the best horse in the race. They've been pointing him here knowing that it should be a weaker field and means they get to run in less than a month in Kentucky. The number 3 is We All See It. Gets Luis Saez aboard. Morning line 15-1. Okay, I can kind of make a case for this horse at a big price. He stalked a decent field last time out when he won. Some of those horses that he beat are considered okay. So not the worst. He beat Gunfighter, who came back to run okay. I know Strong Quality came back to run okay. I think he's makes sense as a I think he makes sense as an underneath horse. I don't know if he can win, but he gets Saez. He's going to be aggressive early, especially breaking more of the inside. He's one I would consider underneath at a price. I don't think he can. I would be shocked if this horse won, though. The number 4 is Ethereal Road, who was the surprise entrant here, in my opinion. Was not expecting to see him here. He was second in the Rebel. He probably should have won the Rebel, and then he finished 7th in the Bluegrass after not having the best trip, but overall was just outclassed. He finished behind Rattle and Roll, and I've not been high on Rattle and Roll all year. So I'm not gonna use him here. He's 10-1 morning line, which if he is gonna be around 10-1 for underneath plays, I would use him. I doubt we get 10-1 on him. I feel like people are gonna see he ran in the Rebel and he ran in the Bluegrass last weekend and he's gonna get played. But this seems like a last ditch effort for Lucas to get a horse into the Kentucky Derby this year. He is getting up there in age, so kind of running out of time to really get another Derby starter. And that's kind of what this seems like to me. The connections want him to have a horse in the Derby. I'm not using him on top. I personally, unless you're going to get that double digit price, I wouldn't use him at all. The number 5 is Howling Time for Dale Romans. And I'm not huge on Howling Time. I kind of liked him underneath in the Fountain of Youth, where he did absolutely no running. The Romans horses on the Derby Trail this year have done absolutely no running. I will not be touching him. I don't care what price he is. I want nothing to do with Howling Time. He's gonna have to come from the back. We'll see if he can do it. He's not terribly quick early. He's got an okay late kick. I don't see it. He's going to be a price, so if you like him, okay. But at this point on the Derby Trail, Dale Romans has to beat me. I don't think we're going to see it. The number 6 is Skate to Heaven with the always popular Robertino Diodoro, David Cohen combination. Just broke his maiden at Oaklawn Park last month, and he looked okay doing it. I'm not gonna lie. He beat a couple decent horses. Masai Warrior, I know, is a horse that some people really like, but I'm not a fan here. He's gonna have to sit very close to the pace to, I think, have a chance. I believe he's keeping blinkers this time. I'm not 100% sure. I'm just going off of my notes here on him. He did get blinkers last time. He also got Lasix. He loses Lasix today. The longest price on the morning line at 30 to 1, but you never know with this combination of Diodoro and Cohen. I think he's a toss, though. I want nothing to do with this horse that's going to have to compete on the early lead with some of these other ones. The number 7 is Major General, who was a major disappointment in the Tampa Bay Derby, and he's morning lined at 4 to 1. And again, I'm just gonna toss him. I did not like him that day, and I don't like him here. I know he stumbled at the start, and that was kind of it. But horse showed no run. He was done very early in that race. Even with the stumble at the start, the way he was bet, he should have at least picked off some horses, and he did not. So I can't use him at all. I think he's the trap play here. I know he gets Irad, and everybody loves betting Irad. He's arguably the best jockey in the country. I can't do it. I want nothing to do with him. If you're gonna play him at a short price, by all means, I would need double digits to even use this horse. The number 8 is Strava for Dallas Stewart. And Strava, he's not bad. I just kind of got to wait for him to break through. The positive on him is that his last race was a third place effort to the eventual Arkansas Derby winner Cyberknife. He came from the back. He really had no chance of catching Cyberknife that day, but he did run well. He ran better than his stablemate, uh, who did really no running, but he did close well and he made up ground. I think this horse makes sense underneath. I prefer him at 20 to 1. I think he is a huge value play here, especially underneath. This horse has done nothing wrong. He just hasn't been able to find the winner circle. But when your his last loss was to a horse that's in the Kentucky Derby field, which is good. His race before that, he lost. Like what distance was this at? I believe it was a mile. No, it was a 6 furlongs. He lost a one turn race back in October. Okay, not the worst thing. I'm sorry, in January. He won the race in October. But third start off the layoff, he should be ready to fire at a price, in my opinion. I like that Gaffleon gets the mount. I'm probably not going to use him on top, as I said, I'm going to single in due time. But he is one I am going to definitely use underneath. I think he is a huge value play for a horse that has run good against horses that would be much shorter prices in here than some of the early betting choices. The number 9 is Tawny Port. He's your morning line 5 to 2 favorite. In his recent race, he finished second in the Jeff Ruby Stakes to Tiz the Bomb. I don't really know what to make of him. I thought I'd get a decent price on him since he's coming back from the synthetic. His record on synthetic is great. His race in the Risen Star was not that bad. He was actually my top pick in the Jeff Ruby. So I'm just going to use him underneath. I think he is good enough on the dirt that he is better than most of these, but I just think in due time is better. So I'm not going to use him on top, but he's one of those ones I'm going to key underneath of in due time. Would not shock me if this horse won though, as I still think the Risen up until the bluegrass really, that Risen Star was probably the best Derby prep. It still might be, in my opinion, with Epicenter, Zandon, and Smile Happy. You had out off of those three, you had the winner of the Louisiana Derby, and you had the first and second place finisher in the Bluegrass. So that was not a bad prep. He finished fifth and was making up ground. He didn't have the best of trips. So I do think he can run on dirt and not just synthetic. Just not sure exactly how good he really is. Flo does get the mount, which is going to draw attention, as Flo is still Cox's number one rider. I'm just going to key him underneath. The number 10 is Dash Attack, and Dash Attack is definitely going to get play here, getting Flavian Pratt to ride. I don't like him here. I get Pratt's jumping on. I think this is a one-turn horse. I was very happy when they skipped the Arkansas Derby with this horse because I thought the connections realized after the Southwest and the Rebel that this horse wants no part of 2 turns. Nope. Here we are. Here we are again. McPeak trying to get one closer to the bubble. He would have a total of 30 points if he won here, which probably won't be enough this year. You'd be pretty far down on the bubble. I don't like him. I get Pratt gets the mount, but nothing about this horse has said that he wants 2 turns to me to begin with. I hope they cut this horse back. Um, and maybe they're using this as a prep for like the Pat Day Mile or something. I would hope. I hope this isn't the goal to try to sneak this horse in the Derby, because one, I don't think he's good enough, but two, just put this horse at a mile or less, please. I don't think he wants no part of going this distance. And the number 11 is Call Me Midnight, the only horse this year to be epicenter in the Lecomte, and he finished a disappointing 6th in the Louisiana Derby after skipping the Risen Star. And this is panic mode in my opinion for them. And even a win here probably doesn't guarantee them a spot in the Derby, as he would also only have 30 points. And this is why I don't like when horses skip the Derby preps. I know it bit me with White Abario in the Florida Derby, but this is what happens. Here you had a horse. He won the first Derby prep, and they're like, you know what? We'll save him. And then he throws a dud in the big prep. So now they got to wheel him back here and hope that they can win and have some help. I don't like him here. I don't know where that effort in the Lecomte came from. His Louisiana Derby effort was much more of what I expected him to do in the Lecomte. I maybe underneath at 6 to 1. I think there's better options to use underneath than him, but I think that's the third or fourth is kind of the best I think this horse will do. I'm not expecting big things out of him. Again, to recap, I'm going to go with In Due Time on top. I'm going to go with the number 8 Strava. I'm going to key him on top of the number 8 Strava, the number 4 Ethereal Road, and the number 9 Tawny Port. And we'll see if we can get this one to close out the Derby prep season. I'll be back with some pre-Kentucky Derby talk. I'm sure we're going to do something before the draw. We're going to do something after the draw, obviously, going over the Derby and the Triple Crown races. And then I believe the plan is after they're going to keep me on the Trust the Profits team. And we're going to do a Road to the Breeders' Cup with all the Breeders' Cup winning your in races this summer. So I won't be going anywhere. Thank you all for the support. It's been fun doing these Derby preps, and hopefully, at least after this, we'll have the clear Derby picture, and hopefully on our Derby show we can help you We'll help you get to the winner. So thank you, and good luck if you're betting the Lexington.